Okay. All right. It's Monday, study Monday. Ref, apostrophe ref for that, if you want to do it. It's the good old study. I think this study, I'm gonna try to understand the light, like in particular the bloom. I need to switch off or close the curtain. But yeah, soft and hard edges as well. I know that there's like easy ways of getting it with blurring, but I want to manually recreate it. So I think it's going to come down to making it like process of how to apply. When I apply the marks, this is all going to be down to how I do that to get the edge variation the best. Hey Greg, how's it going? How are you doing? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Alright, stream is on, that's good. Hey Kirill, how's it going? What up, narrator? So again, apostrophe ref, if you want the reference. Let's see, what text is this? Okay, then let's change that to that, and then we move it there. Aha, perfect. Doing foliage study. That's a good thing to study. We should do that next Monday. That's a good idea. But yeah, so apostrophe ref if you want the ref. This study I'm gonna study like the light gradient, how we can how we read the image up and down, and also soft and sharp edges.
Yeah.
Oh, Dr. Sheldon, that powerful number 6. Awesome, man. Thank you very much for the support. It does mean a lot. Hey, Zalin. How's it going? Happy Monday. Hey, Tiana. How's it going? All right. So let's do this study. Level 6. Oh yeah. Awesome. Okay, let's do this study. I'm gonna just try. It's gonna have to go from dark to light, obviously, because of the light. The amount of light is less than dark, so I'd say go from a dark base up, and that's usually what I prefer as well. Go from dark to light.
Oh yeah.
Oh snap! Eric Moy.
Oh yeah.
And Zealin, also with a powerful number 6. Amazing. Number 6. Oh shit, Eric Moy also got his number 6. That's crazy. That is crazy. Okay, so brush marks and edge control and gradient of the light. Everyone gets a number 6. It's almost like that raid voice line I have on the account here. It's like you get a beer, you get a beer. But today it is you get a number 6 and you get a number 6. Okay, so obviously like the hotspot is there. And that I'm not gonna go for the brightest color. I'm gonna go for that very warm, like glow around her as a base, and then I'm gonna paint the very bright highlight in. But I just want to start kind of mapping it out a little bit. And by the way, for those who missed it, I did, I think Friday night. Monster. That one. So if anyone wants it, it's on VOD on Twitch from Friday, I think. If you want to watch it, I colored it. It's an old warm-up. I repainted it and colored it. So if you're interested, it's there. If you want to have a look at it, you just need to click videos at top, and you will get it. But during that stream, as it was a Friday night stream, I can't talk during the stream, so I always have music on when I do night streams, because I have children and they're asleep. But the music is nice. The company was nice. Rock Night Studios and Suzanne Helmig raided on Friday, which was nice. Gria. Oh, maybe it was Saturday. I don't remember. Kirill, DJ Bjorn. Yeah. Now, for me, music is a huge part of ability to stay focused. And for me, like, music is such a vital part about the creative process. What I always used to do when I was doing oil paintings is that I had my headphones on and like raised the volume to the max, and then deliberately didn't react to when someone walked up to me, because this was during my time in I guess college or high school. What's year 10 to 12? That's high school? You're 18 when you finish year 12. 18, 19. That's high school or college? In Sweden it's called something else, so it's always confusing for me. College, all right. It's college for US. All right. All right. So in college, obviously you're never alone, and I didn't have a studio because, you know, unheard of. But there was like a place to paint in the school. So what I always did was I put headphones on and just on blast and wanted to disappear, right? So I could stay focused and paint my painting. The paintings themselves, actually pretty, they were pretty fun for the time being, and the skill set I had. They were pretty decent, and I actually sold of quite a few. I used to paint like to 1.5 meter to 2 meter paintings about these strange women without hands and feet, and like very, very stylized, strange anatomy, kind of like featureless, in a way, but they were very like emotional for some, there was quite an interesting balance there, and I sold quite a few of them. But yeah, for the experience of me being able to paint those, was that I really needed to have the ability to switch off. So what that always helped me was the music. Like listening to the music made me, when the music was right, it always like transported me to this other location, this other state, which is an implicit mind state where you just go on autopilot and do what feels right. And I love that feeling, and ever since then, when I like had to learn how to switch off, music has been a huge part of like the creative process. I mean, a lot of times also I just need noise, but for me, music is a huge part of being able to disappear without noise. Yeah, I think in this college, it's most likely college. In Sweden, it's called something absolutely different than college. So I never really remember like what the age groups are, because one of the reasons as well is like in American movies, college students are like shown as grown-ups, and you are not a grown-up when you're in college, obviously. Especially not a 30-year-old actor. Okay, soon I'm gonna start. I think I could either manually create the glow of these really, really intense highlights, or cheat with like a color dodge. But in a way, I don't want to do that, because it won't teach me. I won't learn the effect of the glow, of how to get it. I know how to get it with a shortcut, right? That's without a doubt. I can reproduce the glow effect with color dodge, but it won't teach me how to reproduce it manually. So what I want to do is I'm going to have to do it by hand and sacrifice a faster result for knowledge. If I still keep one of those paintings, no. I sold everything that I had, and those that I didn't sell, I gave away when I moved away from Sweden. So when I was done with Sweden, 2007 or 8, 2006, 2006, I more or less went around and said, "Do you want some of these paintings? This is huge. rack of them and just gave it away. That's like cool. Which was, you know, in retrospective, it's a shame that I don't have them anymore. But also that was the beauty of them for me, in the sense that I remember them in my mind, and I know, like, lawyer's office, some of them hangs in lawyer offices, some of them at like some famous people, some at friends' place. I know that my old school have one. So that's nice, you know, as a memory. But I know that if I would look at them now, I would just be annoyed. I mean, what would the like 16, 17-year-old me truly know about painting? I mean, at the time, they were great for my age, most likely. At least that's what people said. I mean, there was some interest in them, obviously, because they were bought. But yeah, in a way, I would love to pick it up again. It's really good fun, and I miss oil paints. Those were done in oil. I love the sensation of oil painting. This painting technique I have digitally, I absolutely has taken from oil painting. Like, my oil paintings are very, very similar in the way that I make the marks, like sculpt almost, with the paint, like defining the planes. Like, you're probably not going to see this very well, but I took out some acrylics over the weekend, just like a 10-minute thing while waiting for my son. But it was, yeah, it made me happy. So I think I'll start painting again, I think. It was a good feeling. And yeah, I think it's really important to have some sort of outlet of the emotional. I think if you don't know how to deal with your emotions, painting can be really, really good at ventilating. At least that was for me back in the school days. Was like, I wasn't the best talker. Probably not anymore either, or still either, but a great thing for me was always painting, like to vent those kind of deeper issues that you might have unconsciously or consciously. I know some people are great at talking and getting their emotions out that way, and it's almost like there's who you're talking to doesn't matter, but the fact that you're ventilating is what matters. That's my impression of what some people do, and they need. And for me, I've never been able to do that for some reason. Most likely that I just feel like that why waste my time talking about me with someone, you know, I'd rather talk about something else. and have my issues within me. I guess that's the Swede in me. It's like, no, you shouldn't be bothered. But yeah, I think painting is a fantastic way. I used to have a series of paintings that I called in Swedish everything and nothing, and it was like I approached it like a dump, emotional dump, like a tip, where you throw all the garbage of a city in this area. And what I used to do was just when I felt very sad, usually was the case when I felt quite sad, I would just put on some music, go into that state of like just pure creative aspect without really trying to make a product. There's for me this way of painting is, well, not this in particular, but a lot of art becomes a product, like a thing. You have to make something cool or a demon, or there is really no connection to your inner world, right? It's very superficial, and there's no, I mean, this sounds horrible, but there's no meaning to it other than the product. Like, not this study in particular because it's a study, but let's say the demons or the dark fantasy stuff and so on. It's not really emotional, right? It's technical practice. It's aimed to please people in a superficial way, right? Like a cool demon or a fire sword, or there's no what's the word? Like, there's no fine art to it. There's no emotional message. There's no purpose behind the creation. Like, for me, a lot of fine art is created as like I said, like a ventilation. You speak your inside. You solidify your emotions. That's for me fine art, right? And good fine art can communicate that emotion you want to describe, so that when someone else looks at it, they are transported into that world emotionally and on subject, right? But a lot of art in this industry is far from it, right? There's a few people who manage to do that, and that's fantastic, but that's still within the scope of like production product. There's really no fine art there, even though there's a lot of gray zones in between. But you know what I mean, hopefully, probably. And I think that's the beauty of it. Like you said, Tiana, it processes your thoughts and your emotions, and you can deal with it in a different way, and it becomes a statement of like how you make the brush marks, and you yourself don't need to hit a certain target of quality because Spider-Man looks a specific way, and you need to hit that in order for the creation to be valid. But if you're doing like an emotional dump painting, you paint that until you're finished, and then and you have left that emotional dump as a physical creation, and then you can look at it, and ideally it's a combination of technique and emotion so that other people can enjoy it. But usually fine art is more geared towards your statement and your opinion and your emotional dump, rather than designing a dragon. you know, and people will go like, "Oh, look at that cool dragon." Does that make sense? Or maybe I'm just full of myself. And some people manage to do that bridge between the two really well, like with fine art techniques and emotional brush marks, and having that show through their design work. Like Jamie Jones, for example, is one of those people who managed to do like fine art looking production art. Almost like it looks like he has a point to make with his spider tank. while when you dissect it, like who cares about a spider tank? You know, what's the emotional delivery there? There is none. But he manages to do that with brush marks and palette and so on. And I think that's the beauty of a really skilled artist, that they can still infuse like production art with emotion. And that's, I think, something we all strive for when we do more illustrations and push something towards finish, is that we are thinking more, maybe should be thinking more about the emotional message, but also most likely it's more illustration orientated than concept art orientated, you know, because concept art tend to be void of a lot of emotions. It's tend to be very technical. But good concept art has flavor in it that will help convey the emotional impact of the concept. Sorry for clearing my throat all the time. It's, I don't know, maybe you're getting a cold. Hey, Sue the Hue. Awesome nickname, by the way. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for de-lurking and showing yourself. And I'm glad that you find it interesting. I try to have some sort of take on each stream, but I also try to do it organically. So today it seems like I want to talk about fine art and emotions and the bridge between the two, of production art. But I think it's an interesting topic, and I think it's a really valid thing to consider when you're creating, especially for example, with, let's take Unreal Bjorn as an example, right? You guys are making an illustration based on the topic. It's a sort of an illustration competition where you're designing something, you are also working on a piece of illustration to have impact, right? Because your image want to read the best so that you don't lose. And that becomes a lot of technical things. Like, you gotta have your colors correctly, you gotta have your this and that correctly. But what I also think where people find success is, do they have the emotional connection, manage to convey the emotional thing to the viewer, right? Because we as the judges are looking at it, and if we don't feel the painting while the other person conveys the feeling better, they will win. So it's a lot of like a balancing act of details, emotion, subject, composition. When you break it down like that, it's so daunting to even begin. And I can see how a lot of people are scared of where to start and feel frustrated, you know, because it does come off as a massive mountain to climb. but I also think that's the strengths of studies and practicing your own workflow and understanding how to create art comes into play, where you don't need to struggle with technique. And the more you are aware of your technique and steps and process, the more you can switch off that part of the brain and be creative. And that's why I think, for example, when I did all my oil paintings many years ago, where I put on the music and disappeared, and I stopped questioning my decisions, stopped, answering questions. I just wanted to create and have a clear message in what I wanted to create. I think it, even though technically my oil paintings were not that good, because I wasn't, I was a young man, but there was emotion in there, and I think that's what people enjoyed. Sue the hue. Yeah, it is very daunting. But what I would recommend is you have to equally take care of your creative aspect of being an artist and your technical aspect. Technical being practicing your moves, practicing your color theory, practicing your technique application. Like, this is how you render, this is how you get the best gradients, this is how you measure proportions, etc., etc. But then also, what a lot of people forget is where's your message, where's your emotions, where's your creativity. And a lot of people have a problem creating something when they don't have something to look at. Right? There's a lot of people who have that issue. Like, they need references. They need to know what they should create in order for them to be able to get to that point where the creative aspect they haven't practiced as much as their technical aspect. And personally, in my line of work, obviously, as a concept artist who comes up with things, I have found it very, very useful to have practiced imagination, so that I don't struggle with creating something. I can sit down. You can tell me to create something, and I can just sit down and create it, right? Because I have practiced that aspect of the process of creating. And I'm a strong believer in you can learn almost anything, and the more aware you are of what you're trying to learn, the faster and more efficient you will be at it. Thanks, brain. No, but what I mean is, that's why, for example, at the beginning of this study, I thought about, what do I want to learn today, rather than let's copy this photo. I set out, okay, I want to look at soft edges and hard edges, which I would say I'm not overly happy with, and also at the color, the gradient, like of the spot of focal point, which I'm kind of happy with. I'm getting that glow. Proportionally, it's awful. And I could have gotten different results with blur and color dodge, but I chose not to, because I wanted to learn and look at the use of saturation and edges and grays and tones to try to kind of pick up why this photo is interesting to look at. And I'm quite sure I will use the information of, like, putting grays here versus next to the highlight to make the highlight even stronger. That's basics, but it's always healthy to look at and remind yourself, like, yeah, to get something really warm, you need something that's not warm next to it to even push the thing even further. You know, like you can never have white unless black is next to it. Then it's like, wow, that's white. Because if it's all white, you go, oh, that's more white, that's less white. I guess. I guess that makes sense somehow in my brain. I don't know. That's a stupid comment. Wow, her face is nowhere close to the reference. It's great. That's not what I'm looking for anyways. Looking for those color shifts. Sue the hue. Yeah, it's also important that you do it even though you know how to do it. You should still practice it. Anyways, time is up. Proportionally, it's a roadkill. Like copy, when it comes to like this arm goes over there, it's awful. But it was interesting to manually create the glow and using the colors and so on. I will definitely, I'd say I've learned something from it. And a good thing to do, like is it zeolin, I think it is. When zeolin does a study, also applies it from an imagination standpoint with the same palette and lesson learned. So like if I would do this the same way, I've talked about this before, that it's a great technique, that now I will create a new scenario. Don't look at the reference in terms of copying, but let's say I will make a demon or an angel sitting at the edge of a castle with the same kind of light setup, as in the glow and the fall off and the edges, and not recreate the reference, but recreate the scenario, the setting where this is used in for. So it's a great way of applying the study that you've done in order for it to stick better. Yeah. Anyways, that's it. If you want a reference at any point during the week until next Monday, you just write 'ref in the chat like so, and you get the reference, and you can do your own study. For me, this study was all about the glow. And that's what I wanted to find and recreate. And I would say without layer settings, like with color dodge and so on, I would say I got close to where I wanted the study to go. Even though it could have been better, it's still okay. I mean, I definitely learned from the study, and information will stick there. And let's raid someone. Let's give them some. Let's give someone else some love and attention. Let's see if you have any suggestion on who to raid. If you want maybe someone who could use some traffic. Let's raid someone we haven't raided in a while that looked like they were doing quite a nice portrait. Um, okay. They're not having a lot of viewers, so let's help a fellow artist out. Hang around for a while, maybe click follow if you like the art. Help them with statistics, because that's always good if you're a streamer. So let's raid Lady Immortal. Have a great day, everyone. Good night if you're that part of the world. After the outro, I will take us there. So see you tomorrow. Good luck with Unreal Bjorn. Thanks everyone for joining in and hanging out with the warm-up. Toodles!